Hey everybody, welcome to the Hoan Zone where we help you multiply the assets you own, and in today's video we are talking West Philly. And if you are brand new here, definitely hit that subscribe button because you're going to want to see the next videos that we release to help you become a better investor. I currently own dozens of properties in West Philadelphia, and West Philadelphia has seen a huge demand, a huge rise in popularity, and it is tricky for people to start investing in West Philadelphia because it is huge. Now, the reason why people want to invest is because the values have just shot up. People are seeing their values go from 100,000 to 300,000 in as short of time as like 1 or 2 years. When property values go up like that, it's just going to drive more people to want to invest in the area for both cash flow as well as appreciation. So the big question is why? Why are the values going up so dramatically? Well, it could be because of the big three. In the area, there are three main colleges. They're Drexel University, Pennsylvania, and University of the Sciences. Those three colleges are expanding and they are providing grant money for people to move into the area. If you work for the school, then you will be given money to help with closing costs, as well as given money just to buy the property if in the right area. Where it gets a little tricky is what I said earlier about West Philly, and it is big. It's a big location. It has 3 or 4 main zip codes depending on who you talk to and who defines what West Philadelphia is. The reason I like investing in West Philadelphia is because you can buy properties at a decent price that produces a significant amount of cash flow based on the rents that are being charged in the area. This matchup of rents to value of properties is a good ratio in West Philly, depending if you're in the right neighborhoods. Now, in terms of good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods, you have to be really careful. There are parts of West Philadelphia, even if you were given a house for free, you might not want to take it. It's important you know where you are investing in West Philadelphia to know whether or not you're getting a good deal. Okay, let's begin by looking at a map of Philadelphia. I wanted to zoom in on a couple of different locations of Philadelphia. Here you see Philadelphia as a whole, and then if you scroll over, you'll see this is West Philadelphia. Now, what are the borders of West Philadelphia? It really depends on who you're talking to. If we scroll in, we'll see over here, let me scroll way in. Let me actually start off with the big three. Here's University of Penn, and then you also have University of the Sciences. Let me actually move up more. University of the Sciences, University of Penn, and if you scroll in a little bit, you'll see Drexel University. These are the big three, and they are relatively close to each other, stone's throw away from each other. Now, West Philadelphia, beyond that though, it goes all the way over to here. Now, this some people just call Cobb's Creek. That is a part of West Philadelphia, in my opinion. Now, there is this line right here. This is Baltimore Avenue. Some people like to say that things south of Baltimore Avenue, King Sessing and such, is what they would consider Southwest Philadelphia and not West Philly. And that's a distinguishing feature. If you're on one side of the street versus the other, you might get a different valuation. And then as you go north and northwest, you got Overbrook. And some people say that's part of West Philly. Some people just call it Overbrook as its own section of Philadelphia. Over here, there is Parkside. I definitely consider that part of West Philadelphia. But each little section has its own name, as you can see. Then you have parts like Mantua and Powelton Village. Mantua used to be a really, really, really bad part of Philadelphia. And to some, it still is. But notice, here is the art museum, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and that area right here to the right of it is actually a really, really expensive area, and you can tell because there's a Whole Foods. But the only thing separating Mantua from the art museum area is this little bridge, and this bridge is Martin Luther King Drive, which is part of the Kelly Drive, Martin Luther King Drive, very historic, very famous part of Philadelphia. All you got to do is cross this little section and voila, you're in Mantua. Some areas in Mantua sell for very low money, and then some are very, very expensive. Then you got the Powelton Village parts and University City. All of this area right here, because it's so close to the colleges, super big bucks. And I'm talking about you'll get a row home for $500,000 to $1 million. For a row home. And when I say row home, these row homes are 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. Nothing special. You might not even get your own parking space. You got to park on the street. That's this area. It's weird, but people are paying the money because they want to be close to the university, as well as the university gives them money for being close by. That's that development area. Now, what can you do? What's the play here? Well, you could be close to the university, but just outside, maybe you start investing in, let's say the universities go up to, say, 46th Street. That's what this is right here, 46th Street. But if you choose to, say, invest in 50th Street, 52nd Street, and keep on going west, then you might get the overflow where prices go up because it's close enough. It's not in the area, it's not in the hot spot of University City and Powelton Village, but it is close enough that people are willing to live there and then commute over. Because of the university, because of the population density, because of the expansion of the university and the development, more and more people want to live in the West Philly section of the city because there's just so much to do and so much opportunity. The other thing that you want to take note of are the parks. There are parks all over West Philadelphia. I'm going to zoom in right here. We got Malcolm X Park right here. And then you have another park over here. And then another park that has caused a lot of values to go up is Clark Park over here. Interestingly enough, these were terrible areas. These were really, really bad areas. These were like no man's land. Don't be caught in the park after dark. But now, if you're near the park, the values go way up. I want you to be mindful of the different parks if you are looking to invest in West Philadelphia, because they seem to be generating more money nearby. Now, let's take a look at the actual market. What I did was I pulled up in the MLS, I drew a map. Right, of West Philadelphia, or at least what I call West Philadelphia. If you take a look, here's that line that I drew for West Philadelphia. Right here, this is 30th Street Station. This is where a lot of people get on and off the train. And then we have the University of Science, University of Penn, Drexel over here. We got Parkside over here. And then we have Southwest. I drew the line on Baltimore Ave where this is Southwest down here. And then everything above is West Philly again. Some people don't consider Overbrook part of West Philly. It's up to you. You call it what you will. I just wanted to look at the data. Let's scroll in. Let's see what's what. And let me show you what goes through my mind as I'm investing in West Philadelphia. The criteria that I created were three bedroom houses between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet. And these are all the properties that sold, actually closed, not just are for sale. I'm going to show you on a different map what's for sale. But here I want you guys to see there's a lot of discrepancy between property values. And that just means opportunity. If a property sold for $200,000, $150,000, $197,000, and $95,000, I guess depending on the rehab, what that says is that there is no exact science of how much a property is worth. If you buy a property and like if you see right here, this one sold, maybe I can zoom in a little bit to help you guys out. But like this one sold for $25,000. Now that probably is in terrible shape, but is it worth $110,000 or $200,000 or $150,000? These are all nearby, right? $95,000. These are all nearby. It's going to be tough for an appraiser to figure out the ARV, but what's nice is because there's so many different ones, you can argue that it's going to be closer to $200,000 than say $150,000 because there is an argument to be made. What's crazy is that you're seeing these $200,000 valuations. They weren't that a couple years ago. They were in the $100,000 valuations. This one right here at 57th and Market's $245,000. These prices are really high compared to what they were just a couple years ago. Now, if you go up here to say 60th and Arch, this one sold for $60,000. This $158,000, $120,000. What I'm seeing here with these values is that you can buy a property and rent it out and cash flow. Properties in West Philadelphia, they range anywhere from $1,200 on the low end for a 3-bedroom up to say $1,500 for a 3-bedroom. I have West Philly properties renting for $1,500 a month. Now, if you go to the different parts, like all over you're seeing 70, 80, 60, 50, 175, 100. These values, and then here's 229,000. These values are all over the place, which means that there are a lot of gems to be found. Our job as a real estate investor is to find a property that is low price, but with high valuations. If you can buy it at a low price and fix it up for a low price, and then get an appraiser to agree with you that it's worth way more, then all of a sudden you're buying it down here and then it's appraising up here. And when that happens, that's where you get rich. That equity spread, that difference, that is your net worth. And that's how people become millionaires, because they keep buying properties that increase in value. Their net worth keeps on growing. And West Philadelphia is a fantastic place to do it. Okay, now I have switched the map to the properties that are for sale. Now let's take a look at what is available. What could you buy today in West Philadelphia? Well, this one's selling for $344,000. That seems a bit high for that property. And then if you keep on scrolling around, you will find a gem. Like this one here is $49,900. And this one here is $139,000, and they are, a block 2 away. Right? So that's a big spread there. There are a bunch of gems to be found if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're looking for. A lot of these people who are selling properties, a lot of these properties are being sold by people who lived in the houses for the last 20 years, 30 years. They need work, but they're willing to let them go for very little, and that's where you can find your gem. That's where you're going to find your big pop. This one's selling for $65,000. What's nice about this is that these properties are plentiful. There's a lot of properties in the area. Let me scroll back out, and just to show you, I limited the search again to 3 to 4 bed, between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet, and you have all of these properties for sale. And then on that last map that I just showed you guys, those are all the properties that were bought, meaning that there is a lot of action going on, a lot of money moving between both the for sale and being bought. When there's a lot of action, then that means that it's a safe bet, because whether you need to rent it out or if you need to sell it, you can. And if you're looking to buy stuff, well, this is just what's listed. This is not counting all of the properties that are going to be for sale by owners who are in bad situations that want to sell and maybe don't want to use a real estate agent. These are all properties that are listed with real estate agents. But if you are of the type who wants to buy properties off market, there are tons of properties on off market that are for sale. What I want you guys also to see is when I do the zoom out picture, it doesn't give you the scope of how many properties are on one city block. If I zoom all the way in, if you see, these are row homes, right? Every single block here is a row home. And I don't know how many are on a block, maybe 50, maybe 100, right? If you're walking down, let's say we're on 53rd Street here, or actually let's go to, let me go where there's a large stretch of block. So here we are. We're on 54th Street between Arch and Race. And as you're walking up or down the block, and you go look left and right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, probably like 60, right? Just going up. Here's 60 houses. You come down this block, that's 60 houses. Then you go up this block, that's 60 houses, right? And you just keep on zipping through. There are thousands of properties in West Philadelphia that you can target. And you don't need thousands in order to become financially free. You just need a handful of these things. I'm just showing you guys West Philadelphia because I enjoy investing in West Philadelphia. Like I was saying before, you have a couple of main zip codes you want to focus on. This is the 19143 zip code. Here's the 19139 zip code. And then up here is the 19131. Over here to the left, that's the 19151. And then all across here, that's the 19104. Yeah. So that's like 4 or 5 zip codes that you may want to focus on. I mainly focus on 19143 over here because in this pocket over here is where I'm finding that I can buy properties for relatively low amounts of money and that they will appraise for a good deal of money. Over in the 19104, that's usually bigger money. Now, it does depend on where you're talking. The University of Penn and Drexel area, that's going to be the 19104. But then also you have this Parkside area, which is 19104. Over here by the 19104, there's also the zoo. The Philadelphia Zoo is located in this area, and people have been speculating that this whole area is going to pop for a very long time now. The School of the Future by Bill Gates, Microsoft, that's also over here. So people are saying like, yeah, it's gonna grow, it's going to gentrify, whatever. It's been years, maybe it will. And if so, that means that you still have that opportunity to get into this area and invest there, because it has not yet done that. You can buy big properties, you can buy multifamily properties. They are all over here. So definitely take a look at that area. If you want to be closer to the universities, you're going to be in this section. And if you're looking to do cash flow rentals, then you want to look in all of this area, as well as if you want to do flips. This is a good area for flipping as well, because people do want to live here. You can buy the house for a modest price and then flip it for a decent return. So maybe you're selling at the 189 right there, or 259. A lot of properties are flipping for that price range. A lot of people can afford that price range. It's a good place to flip as well as hold. That's why I like West Philadelphia. The other thing that I wanted to go over real quick is the Penn Home Ownership Services, and that is where they will provide money for closing costs, as well as provide a forgivable loan if you're going to buy a property within the area that they want you to invest in. Now let's take a look. Where are the areas that they're talking about? We have your closing cost reduction program, and then your forgivable loan program. If you look at the map here, right, we got this area, which is close to the university. They are including parts of Southwest and West Philly all up here, right? So this area is that forgivable loan program, and then the rest of it, all of this, all the way up here too, they're considering West Philly. Well, whether they consider West Philly or not, it's within the program, and this is the closing cost program. This is also another reason why a lot of people are coming to West Philly, because the universities in the area hire a lot of people. They have their hospitals, they have their universities, and they have all of the other services like their Philadelphia police departments that work specifically for the universities. They hire a lot of people, and if they want the people to live here, they give them money, and then now you have more people looking to buy in the area, and when more people look to buy in the area, then the demand goes up, and demand goes up, then the prices go up. And if you bought in early enough, or if you got a good enough deal, then you are going to experience this appreciation with the properties that you own. If you are in the Philadelphia area and you want to invest in West Philadelphia, feel free to contact me, Hoan at hoanzone.com. That's my email address. Email me, tell me you're in Philadelphia, and then maybe I can assist you with investing in the area. Also, if you're looking for more training on how to become a better investor overall, check out hoanzone.com. That's where I list all the trainings that I have coming up. Thank you so much for watching this video on West Philadelphia. It is a great place to invest in. It is super lucrative if you can master the area, if you know what's going on block by block. It can be very confusing, but hopefully this video helped you. If you like this video, hit that like button and hit that share button with other people that you might know who want to invest in Philadelphia and West Philly specifically. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.